Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's first video, our Monday video, and that is our season review for Season 1 of Young Justice. That's right, folks. This week's movie reviews are being replaced by 2 season reviews for both seasons of Young Justice because we just finished the series and it's pretty amazing. I'm going to avoid cussing because even though we like it and stuff, it's like, there are the kids that are going to watch this, so I will tone down language for once in my life.
Good.
I, of course, am your host, Caleb Johnson, and I am here with my co-host, Cameron. Cameron, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. And are you not excited to review this?
I'm really excited.
Okay. So, this amazing, badass cartoon, you just randomly started watching it, and then you said, hey, Caleb, this show's awesome. You should check it out. So then I was kind of like, whatever. And then I got bored one day, and I watched episode 1, and then I was like, this is amazing, and I kept watching it. I finished season 1, and then I started season 2 and finished it in 2 days. It's awesome. This show is amazing. So, season 1 of Young Justice, basically, the whole plot synopsis is, not the entire plot, we'll go into spoilers later, but the whole plot synopsis of this is that Batman, Aquaman, The Flash, and Green Arrow's sidekicks, they're all going to graduate, they're going to put them in the Hall of Justice, and they're going to be like, oh, you might become part of the League. And then all of a sudden, Speedy's like, what the hell is this? We're not going into Watchtower? What's wrong with you guys? And then they're like, whoa, what's Watchtower? And then it all happens, and Speedy gets all angry and leaves and kind of basically quits. So then that leaves Robin, Aqualad, and Kid Flash to be like, well, what are we doing now? So then they make them a team, and they find Superboy, and eventually Miss Martian and Artemis get involved, and they become a team, and they've got all of their personal struggles, and their internal struggles, and their struggles with each other, and they've got to take down this mysterious organization known as the Light, which all they know are the different random villains they encounter that are connected to it. So Cameron, just going up, what are your first impressions of this show, and just overall Season 1?
Well, like you said, I started watching it randomly one night, and I told you about it. And after 2 episodes, it sucks you into it. I mean, a person who says they don't like this show, it's obviously something wrong with them. This show is just amazing.
Yeah, if you're into comic, if you're into, like, one thing is, if there's any comic book show that you can watch normally that you don't have to be a kid, it's this.
Yeah.
It's just so good. It's so complex, man.
It's so complex. I honestly know if I was 7, I would not be able to understand any of these storylines.
See, here's the thing is, if I was like 7 or 8 watching this, I would like it because, obviously, for obvious reasons, but I wouldn't understand it.
Yeah.
I would just see, whoa, there's this and that, and then I would watch it later and be like, whoa, that was way more complex. I'm sure there are going to be people who were watching this when they were 10 who in 5 years might rewatch it, and they'll be like, whoa, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, this is really awesome, not just for nostalgia. So going into some of the character development, you got your main cast of characters, which, breaking them down, first of all, you got Robin, the Dick Grayson version of Robin. He's like 13 in the first season, right?
Yeah, 13.
So he's essentially like, he's kind of the leader, but then it eventually becomes Aqualad. And I really did like Robin. He didn't steal the show as much as I would have liked him to, but he was still a great character. He was awesome. For some reason, he's obsessed with the word whelmed.
Which is amazing.
It is. It's random and amazing, and I randomly say it now. And it's just, overall, I really liked Robin. I thought he was a good addition to the show, and you've got to put Robin in these teenage superhero shows.
Yeah, if you don't, you're missing a big key part of any teen insert word DC lineup. It's always Robin's involved. So if you don't have him, it just looks weird.
Because the character Robin will always be the poster boy for teenage superheroes.
Yes.
There's just no one else. It's like, sure, you could say, oh man, Kid Flash, as much as I love Wally West, he's not the poster child for that.
No.
It's Robin.
Yeah.
And speaking of Wally West, let's talk about how Wally West is the most popular character on the show. And he just might be the best. I mean, he's hilarious. This show will make you laugh.
Yes.
It will. You go ahead.
Oh, I wasn't about to say anything.
Oh, shit. I totally thought you were talking. Oh, but anyway. Nonetheless, there's just... I lost my train of thought. But nonetheless, Wally West, he's just hilarious. He's funny. I mean, the show's going to make you laugh, and half the time it's going to be because of Kid Flash.
Yeah.
But I randomly transitioned from calling him Wally West and Kid Flash. it's really weird. But I mean, he's just an overall good character. I mean, he wants to be there. He's got this drive in him, and it's everything, and the chemistry. And he's one of those guys. He just has the character has chemistry with everyone else.
Yeah.
The voice actors have chemistry, and the guy who voiced him is amazing.
So amazing.
And he's just a cool dude. You should follow him on Twitter. I don't remember his name, but you should follow him on Twitter if you figure
That's
it out.
what Google is for, to find out somebody's name.
Yeah, exactly. It's like he's a good character. It's just overall everything about him is great.
Yeah.
Then you got Artemis, Artemis is weird because when she was introduced, I didn't like her.
Really?
But yeah, I told you this.
Oh, I liked her from the beginning.
I did. The first couple episodes, I wasn't sold on her. I was like, okay, go away, Artemis. And then as the show went on and as season 1 progressed, I realized Artemis is the most complex and best character on the show.
See, I'll have to disagree with that.
I know, and we'll get to her in a minute, but I will say this. Artemis was my favorite character on the show, both seasons. Simply because I just think she's so complex. I think the character's amazing. I think the voice actress was amazing. I think everything about her character was amazing. And it'll be easier to talk about when we get into spoilers.
Yeah.
But Artemis was just a fantastic character. Just everything about her from the very beginning, when she shows up in like episode 6, I believe, to episode 24, that's like 18 episodes, roughly, of just amazingness with her. It's just where you figure out different stuff, and then you have little snippets of what her backstory could be. Oh, she lives in Gotham. She doesn't live in Star City. Maybe she isn't Green Arrow's niece. You learn. It's just so cool.
Yeah.
And then I guess we'll talk about her now. Who you were saying? Then there's Miss Martian.
Miss Martian is amazing.
You love Miss Martian.
I love Miss Martian.
She's great. She's fantastic. She's a very unknown character, essentially.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, she's Martian Manhunter's niece.
The best part of Young Justice.
She's amazing. She's one of the best parts, and just everything about hell. We kind of named our comics podcast last week after her.
Yes.
It was she's in the thumbnail. And everything. It's just she was such a cool. And she's another complex character like Artemis was.
Yeah.
Where you knew she had this secret, but you didn't know what it was.
Unless you knew her backstory.
Yeah, exactly. Like I knew.
Yeah.
But it's like I of course it's just crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like she's got just everything about her, and how basically her entire character is based off of her to a degree racially just wanting to fit in.
Yeah.
That's her. Is she watched this shitty looking sitcom?
No, it was amazing. Don't call it. No.
Dude, you can't. That opening for Hello Megan.
Looked
oh my god.
Pretty cool.
It was not pretty cool. But it was just like she was just she just wanted to fit in,
Yeah.
It was good, and then she dates Superboy and stuff, which I didn't like at first.
I didn't like it at first either.
No, but then let's go to Superboy. Superboy was a weird character.
True.
He was kind of a jerk whenever he first showed up.
Yeah.
And as it went on, he's voiced by Nolan North also, which is awesome. So Deadpool and Superboy share the same voice. and the Penguin.
Yeah.
So all of these random comic book characters share the same voice that shouldn't share the same voice, but it somehow works. But Superboy, he's another character who he was complex in the sense that he didn't know what he was.
Yeah.
You felt like he was like, oh, he knows it, but then it's like, no, and then he doesn't have that approval from Superman. Because Superman just acts like oh man, I want for some reason there is a scene where Superman is eating pie with Batman, and he isn't even eating pie yet, and he's trying to talk to him. He freaks out and starts walking away, and then actually says, "Oh, I'll take that pie to go," and walks out of the restaurant.
Maybe he was waiting outside for it.
He was not waiting outside for it.
Maybe
so Clark Kent storms out of restaurants and expects people to track him down and give him pies.
Maybe.
And that explains to you why he was a bad father figure for Superboy.
Exactly.
Because he would rather not get pies, but then make people pay for them and not pay. He's going to make Bruce Wayne pay for him. That's real classic, Clark. Make the rich boy pay for everything.
Well, Bruce has the money for it.
Yeah, but still, it's like Bruce is going to be like, oh, I don't want to pay for this pie. I don't eat pie. Look at me. I had a cheat day in years. And it's like just because Superman doesn't have metabolism or whatever, and he was born with muscles and abs, and he gets to eat all the pie he wants. Why are we talking about this?
I don't know.
So anyway, Superboy, he grows on you.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, man, you're jerk. I'm trying to avoid cussing for the kids.
Yeah.
I really am. You can tell how hard I'm trying. He was a real jerk, and he was a real ass. Can I say ass? I feel weird saying it.
You can't say
I can't? Okay. Superboy was a real jerk, and he grows on you, and you realize, oh, he's a jerk because of... It's not... I want to spoil something, but he's part of his origin story, but at the same time it is a spoiler for the series, so I'm not going to say it, but there are reasons he's a jerk. There's half a reason he's a jerk. And then just in general, like, if you just randomly are a clone of someone like Superman, and you got to figure out your life, wouldn't you be a jerk? And then wouldn't you get really happy if you started dating a green woman?
Yes.
Exactly. And then there's Aqualad, who we don't really care about in Season 1.
I had to convince you that he was okay in Season 1.
So why don't you just convince these people like you convinced me?
Okay. You have to realize, people, he isn't meant to be an interesting character. He is there to be the voice of reason, and he is like, isn't he the oldest out of the group?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. He's there to be mature. He's there to bring that maturity to the group. That's why he's there. Kind of like Aquaman in the Justice League. Yeah, he's there for the voice of reason.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I don't think I really thought about that. Yeah, he is the oldest of them. I didn't even realize that till just now. Superboy is like 6 months old. Miss Martian is roughly like, what, 15 or 16? So are Wally and Artemis, and then Robin's fucking I did not mean to say, I feel weird trying not to cut. Robin is freaking 13, and then, I'm forgetting someone, but...
Artemis.
No, did I not say she's 15 too?
I don't think you did.
Okay, well, I don't know what I'm saying. Nonetheless, Aqualad's like 17, so he's older than all of them.
Yeah.
Also, one thing, okay, so the thing about Young Justice I really like is when it comes to comic book shows, I don't like it when they pretend death doesn't happen.
Yeah.
This show is, there are assassination attempts on a little girl in this season. And they tease this little girl dying, and not once, not twice, but 3 times they tell you in a kid's show that a little girl has died, whether it be from being murdered or just dying from not getting her new heart. So, child murder is insinuated in a kid's show, and they don't pretend like death doesn't happen. They're like, don't die, and stuff like that, and it's great. It's just, and one thing I also like is how something that happens in episode 1 won't be explained until episode like 12, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And this show, and also the way they introduced the light was fantastic.
It was.
Is they slowly built it out with Clarion and everyone, and
let's talk about Clarion for a second.
Why Clarion? We hated him, and then we realized how awesome he is.
He is the best coward you could ever find.
Exactly. And he has a cat named Teakle.
Why
would you name a cat Teakle? Yeah, they don't know. It's a hermaphrodite cat.
Yeah.
Actually, it has some days it has one thing, some days it has the other.
Yeah.
I would get more graphic if it wasn't for children.
Yeah.
Do
not Google hermaphrodite.
Do not Google that. Do not, and I don't mean like, Google it anyway. Don't Google it, kids. No. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Unless you want to grow up within 5 minutes, do not.
Unless you want to see some things that will destroy your life, don't do it. But one thing I will say is, and one thing, speaking of which, we haven't even touched on Red Arrow yet.
We haven't.
The complexity of his character in the show, with him trying to be his own man, just over the entire season, where he's Speedy and then he becomes Red Arrow, and then he's dealing with everything, like, do I work with these guys? Who's the mole? Because they learn that someone in the group is a mole, and he's like, he's obsessed with it. And who's the mole? And now it's time to talk about spoilers, because there's no way we can't now, because I want to now.
Yes.
So, spoiler alert for anyone who somehow hasn't watched Season 1 of Young Justice, really...
Yeah, it's on Netflix. You have an excuse for not Season 2, but Season 1, there's no excuse.
Yeah, exactly. Season 1, there's no excuse. So go watch it, and then come back if you haven't watched it. But if you have watched it, and hopefully you have, then continue listening to this. So, one of the big spoilers is who the mole ends up being at the end of episode 23. And that mole was Red Arrow. All along, and he didn't even know it.
Yes.
Poor Speedy.
Poor Speedy.
He was a clone the whole time.
Which is kind of sad.
It is. It's really depressing because it's one thing for Superboy to know he's a clone, but then with Speedy, he lived his entire, or for however, what was it, like 4 years or something like that. It's for years. He thought he was a real person, and then all of a sudden, you're a clone. The real Speedy is in a chamber with no arm, or one arm, and then a stub. And it's like, whenever you learn that, it's gonna mess with you.
Yeah.
It's poor Speedy. And then, you got the whole stuff with the Justice League being taken over, and they all disappear for some of them disappear into deep space and terrorize planets and stuff. And then you got another thing they built up so well this season was Wally and Artemis. It's all season. I knew they were going to end up together at the end of the season.
Okay, I want to say another spoiler.
Okay.
The moment at Wally's birthday party, when he only got a kiss on the cheek from Miss Martian, that's probably one of the saddest moments ever.
It's so depressing.
Being a guy, we should all know how it feels to be friend zoned, and he was so friend zoned. It doesn't make sense.
But she was dating another guy.
Well, it's still the friend zone.
A clone, half man, half Kryptonian guy who was also a 6-month-old, which is technically. Never mind. But it was nice because Wally and Artemis, they just hated each other like all season.
Yeah.
And there was this great scene where he's switching between stealth mode, and she just goes, "Stop touching yourself," which was so out of nowhere. I laughed so hard.
Yes.
It was so good.
How amazing was that episode?
That was a really good episode.
Yeah.
It was one of those episodes where it's like, how do kids understand this?
Exactly.
Like, there's so much complexity.
Like the episode where it was all in Miss Martian's head.
Oh my god, that episode was insane. How would anyone understand? I barely understood that. And I read comics, and I know how crazy. The thing people need to realize is if there's any show that really shows how a comic book storyline is, it's Young Justice.
Yes.
Because that's how this stuff happens. It's so complex. There's one thing in season 2 I was talking to you about earlier before we started recording this. That is 100% comic book.
Yes.
That is just how a comic book is.
Yeah.
Especially DC, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And the thing that makes me sad is no matter how long we talk about this review, there's no way we're going to catch everything about this season.
No.
We haven't gotten to mention Captain Marvel.
Okay. I want to talk about Captain Marvel for a second.
This sold me on Captain Marvel.
Yes, I am buying his comic just because of this show.
Hey, remember in season 2, he only has like 5 lines in that one episode.
He talked for a little bit more in season 2.
Maybe he didn't have a lot of speaking time in that.
Maybe my memory is serving me wrong. But
I feel like they cared more about him in season 1.
Yeah. Well, okay. What would he have been now? 15? So that's probably
yes. Yeah. There's that one scene in season 2 where you do see that he's like 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's not like. That's the reason in season 2 he's not filled with that childlike wonder.
Yeah. Which I want to go off topic kinda, but in the comics now he's 15. He is a 10.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Oh, Captain Marvel's cool.
Yeah.
And then one thing is, so with the whole ending of the season being Young Justice, the entire team, which with Zatanna and Rocket added
their horrible version of Gambit.
Rocket is horrible. I hate her. Is she even in season 2?
Yeah, she has small cameos.
Yes, they replaced her with Bumblebee.
Sigh, which is even worse.
Yeah, Bumblebee is somehow worse than her. But the thing with season 1 was that the finale of season 1 is you basically have Young Justice versus the Justice League. And you have this one scene where you have Robin and Superboy against Batman and Superman.
Which is pretty awesome.
It's so awesome. It's so great. And you have so much stuff going into it. And then it's like, it's really crazy because you don't know how they're going to win this.
Yeah.
It's just every single second it's like, no, we can do this now, we can do this. And overall, it was just awesome. Like, really, really awesome. The finale was great. And then, of course, at the very end, even though some of those Justice League members lost 12 hours in deep space, everyone was happy. It was 16 hours?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was 4 off.
Yeah.
It was 16 hours, I'm sorry. I knew it was somewhere in the teens.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have the ending where you have Superboy and Miss Martian kiss because they're dating. Then all of a sudden, Wally decides, hey, I hate you, let's make out. With Artemis. Zatanna and Robin insinuate something that gets insinuated in season 2, which is still hilarious. And then
They seem
Aqualad.
that like 2 times in season 1 though.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
Yeah.
they did a couple times before they actually kissed. And then in season 2, they have that moment where they insinuated that they did something more than kiss.
Yeah.
Which was a hilarious moment. And then you had Aqualad and Rocket, who... Do I really have to say why these two kissed?
People, if you Google Rocket and then you Google Aqualad, it's kind of obvious why.
Yeah, it's like... I feel like they only brought her in so Aqualad would have someone to kiss, and they didn't want to do the whole... Maybe they felt uncomfortable having a black and white kiss, but they didn't do it.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird. Like, they had that... What about Aqua? Aqua Girl is an important part of Season 2 in ways that will be explained in the Season 2 review. And it's not really a spoiler, but it will be explained in the Season 2 review, but... Like, why not just bring an Aqua Girl
I
in
don't
this?
know. They should
I don't...
have. It would have been cool.
Why was the white version of Aqualad even in the show?
I don't know.
That was weird. Like, it's so weird.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, overall, Young Justice Season 1 was a super complex and great comic book cartoon overall superhero show, and I really enjoyed it.
Same.
I think it's worth watching. Well, it's 24 episodes, right? Because that's what I've been saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just overall, I feel like we probably missed some stuff, and after we finish this recording, I'm going to be like, we missed this.
Yeah.
And we glossed over this, but, Superboy is the love child of Superman and Lex Luthor.
Yeah. It just, yeah.
That's,
funny.
yeah. Also, there's a reference to 1990s Superboy in the show, if you caught that.
Yeah. You got to look for it though.
You gotta look for it. It's in the Halloween episode.
Yeah.
But there is a nod to him, and I thought that was amazing. And it's another thing the kids aren't going to pick up on.
No, they won't.
But nonetheless, Cameron, let's wrap this up. Season 1 of Young Justice was a great comic book show. What would you give this out of 10?
10 out of 10.
Season 1, I give 9 out of 10.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, 9. 9 out of 10.
Because I don't think it was perfect. Season 2 might be a different story, but Season 1 I don't feel like was really perfect.
Yeah.
Like Season 2 was.
It was mostly set up for what was going to be the amazing next season.
Exactly. And then, of course, the very ending is Batman saying, "What did we do?" And I might have said that in a way too low voice, but I said, "What did we do?" Oh, I can't do that. I'm trying. What did we do?
There you go.
Christian Bale Batman, for some reason, makes a cameo. But nonetheless, feel free to favorite, hit the like button, and subscribe. Also, if you want to see lots of other videos, including comics and sports and movie reviews, usually, which this week was an exception, you can go check that out. It's me and Cameron are on like everything.
Yeah.
There's nothing we aren't on, and it's all sorts of funness. And then we've got I think this is one of 6 videos coming out this week, I believe, 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if never mind.
If you didn't get the joke from the comics podcast, yeah, listen to this and then go listen to it, and then we'll all get a big laugh.
Yeah, exactly. And then look at the title of that video because it's funny.
Yeah.
And then you listen to it; it's even funnier.
Yeah.
I adore that. I told you, man. I love episodes 1's title and thumbnail, but episodes 2 was so much better.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I'm dragging this on a little bit. Also, put in the comment section what you think about Young Justice Season 1. Did you think it was amazing? Did you think it was terrible? Do you want to go in the comments and call me an asshole or a mean person or something or not agree with me? Are you 10 years old? Are you going to act like the 10-year-olds on Xbox and be very rude? Just, honestly, put whatever you want in the comment sections. I'm not going to get rid of it unless it's too mean. If it's too mean, I will get rid of it. Yes, I will.
No.
No matter how much you try to make this a running gag, I will.
No, it's not a running gag. I'm serious. You aren't touching anything.
Okay, we'll discuss this later.
Okay.
But nonetheless, that was a joke. That wasn't even me being serious.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, Young Justice Season 1 was awesome. There's nothing else to be said.
Yeah.
Do we have to say weird ship names, or let's just not?
No, let's just not.
Okay, so I'm Cameron. I'm Caleb.
I'm Cameron.